It's Dave Manic 1 with another knife first impression. The knife you see before you, it is a Ganzo G711. If it looks familiar to you guys, it should. It is a clone of the mini Onslaught, the Bob Lum design through Benchmade, and it mirrors it almost identical. One or two differences there. Materials and something else, another feature I'll show you later on, a couple seconds here in the video. As far as specs go, the entire length of this knife is 8.1 inches. The blade is 3.5 inches. We do have 440C on this, and it is hardened to 58 HRC. The weight's about 160 grams. I don't know what that translates. I'm sure it's probably about, I'd say about 3 or 4 ounces. I'm not sure. I don't have a scale or translate. I'm just going by the paperwork I got when I purchased the knife. So all in all, pretty cool. Flat ground on this guy. It's got the Ganzo logo there. On the back side of it, there is the model number, very faint. You can see G711 and 440C, the blade steel on that. Axis lock, of course. Open pillar construction. Right hand tip up carry only. Axis lock is, as far as smoothness, I would say it's probably I'd say a 7 out of 10. And that's probably one of the differences you'll have between this and the Benchmade. I'm sure the Benchmade, actually I've held the Onslaught before, the mini Onslaught before at a gun store, and it flipped open and closed like butter. It was like, you know how when you get an Axis lock and you'll hold it and it'll just swing freely? That's pretty much how it was. Although it was a display model, maybe it had been fondled so much and broken in where it did function that way. That could have been the case. This knife kind of, I mean, as far as smoothness goes, it is very smooth. I mean, you could flick it open, no problem. Boom. No blade play up or down, left or right. The blade, on the other hand, as far as it coming centered, it does lean a little bit to the left, but not enough to hit the liners. And I'm pretty sure that once this does break in a little bit, it'll center itself out. Just because the lock bar, or I think it should center itself up. I'm hoping. I may have to adjust and tweak the pivot a little bit, but like I said, leaning to the left a little bit there. G10 on the scales, mildly textured towards the edges. It's got the little groove there. Like it says, it mirrors the Onslaught. The one difference I did want to go over real quick with you guys is the one thing. The Onslaught was on my bucket list for a while until I actually held it at that gun store, like I mentioned, and I was turned off by it. And the main reason is, when I held the Onslaught in the store, I believe the blade stock between this and the Onslaught are identical, same thickness as far as blade stock goes, but the G10 on this Ganzo, I believe, is a little thinner, and it's actually pretty good because, or I think it's a good quality in it, because the Onslaught, main thing that turned me off about it was the fact that the scales were so wide and beefy that it looked unproportionate. It looked like the handle was way too wide for the blade that was in there, and that's my biggest beef and complaint with the Onslaught, and the reason why I didn't buy one. I mean, the price tag on those are very expensive, and if I'm going to pay that much money, I want it to be perfect. I don't want it to be like, oh, you know, I like the design, but I spent so much money on it, I wish this was like this. I don't want to purchase a knife for $150 to have to go get it sent out to be modified or pimp it myself or whatever to get it the way I like it. And the cool thing is this Ganzo is actually more proportionate than that knife. One of the major differences between this and the Onslaught. The other major difference, of course, you're dealing with 440C on this blade steel. I believe the Onslaught has better quality steel. I don't know exactly what blade steel the Benchmade uses on that one, but I'm sure it's a higher quality than the 440C. Not saying anything about 440C because I'm a fan of 440C. I like that steel quite a bit. Another thing too is I think the action on the Benchmade, you're going to be paying for better. It's going to function a lot smoother than this right out the box, I believe. Like I said, the one that I saw at the gun store probably had been fondled a bunch of times, and you know, basically it may have been broken in already. But that's the one thing. I think the two big differences would be the fact that this blade to handle thickness proportion are better with the G711. but the Benchmade is probably going to have better quality as far as steel goes, and better tolerances on the or function as far as the axis lock is concerned. One other issue I have with this knife, it's a good knife, don't get me wrong, but as I hold this, my purchase on this guy, because of the swooping handle, it looks very comfortable, and but the problem is my hands are probably, I'd say mid-size hand. Is when I go to squeeze this, and I have my finger there where it sits nice and comfortable. When I go to squeeze this, because my pinky's right here, it pushes my hand forward, causing me to add more pressure right here to my pointer finger. So that's a major hot spot for me. You know, I'm finding myself wanting to grab here because of the purchase in the back. If I laid back a little bit, I still find a little bit, but then I got my pinky hanging off here. So that's the one big issue I have with this knife. Besides that, it's pretty cool. The price I got it for was $22 off a eBay seller by bladeforum. His name was bladeforum. I've purchased from him in the past. Actually, I purchased a bunch of Navy knives from him, and he had pretty quick shipping. He is overseas, but it's about a 2-week wait. It's not your deal extreme here, 2 months and then you finally get your stuff. It's actually 2 weeks, and he does provide a tracking number, which is only good. It only tells you that it's left bladeforum and it's headed to Hong Kong Post, and from there you're pretty much waiting for it to show up on your doorstep there. But his name is bladeforum on eBay. If you look up bladeforum, you'll be able to find him. But it's listed. This knife is listed as Ganzo G711 folding knife 440C blade with nylon sheath. I got the knife, the box, and this little pouch that goes with it. Cool thing about it is when he shipped it out, this knife was, or the packaging was opened up and flat in the shipping, so it didn't go crushed and smushed, because I like to keep my boxes nice and perfect. That way, if I need to transport them, if I sell them to somebody else, they get it in pristine condition with a box and everything, and it came all unfolded. That way it didn't get smushed up in shipping. And the knife came in this pouch with not only a plastic covering on the knife, also wrapped in bubble wrap. So that was pretty nice. So all in all, pretty good knife. $22 shipped to the house. You're going to wait 2 weeks. You could always check with SR Jobin. He's a U.S. seller. He does sell Ganzo knives. I don't know if he has any of these in stock. You may be able to find another U.S. seller on eBay. I haven't checked recently, but expect to pay a couple bucks more. But even if you paid $26 for this knife, not a bad deal. Just keep in mind, if you have mid-size hands or whatnot, or maybe my hands are larger size. I don't know. I mean, here I could do... Let's go ahead and try to figure this out real quick. If you measured my hands, this is kind of dumb, but my hands from my outside pinky, the knuckle, to over here is about, I'd say, about 3 3/4 inches. So if your hand, the distance between here and here on your hand is 3 3/4 inches, you're going to deal with the situation with it being a hot spot there, as you get a good firm purchase on it. But it may not. You know, I've got kind of fat, beat up fingers, so that may not be an issue. But that's the only thing I came across with. All in all, good knife. Definitely check it out. If you have any comments, post them below. You guys are always welcome to PM me about anything. I appreciate the support. Definitely happy to bring this to you. And this is, I finally got a chance to get exposed to a Ganzo product, and all in all, pretty good fit and finish, and nice product, you know. Pretty happy with my purchase. So, guys, take it easy. Appreciate your time. Peace.